Hey guys, our today's topic is methods of measuring price elasticity of demand. But I would suggest you to surely watch the earlier lecture, that is types of price elasticity of demand, for a better understanding of today's topic, because unless and until you watch that lecture you won't be able to connect with today's topic in detail. So let us start with today's lecture. I repeat, today's lecture is about methods of measuring price elasticity of demand. Totally there are three methods explained for your purpose, for your exam point of view. Let us start with the first one, ratio or percentage method. I have written in short symbolical. It is ratio or percentage method, which is also known as arithmetic method. Now, who developed it? So, same person. It is developed by Professor Marshall. As per this method, elasticity of demand is measured by dividing the percentage change in demand by the percentage change in price. That means whatever formulas we learned in great detail in the earlier answer. Same thing we are repeating here. So, ED equal to percentage change in quantity demanded upon percentage change in price. So let us put it mathematically in the terms of formula. ED equal to percentage delta Q upon percentage delta P, where P is original price, delta P means change in price, Q is original quantity demanded, and delta Q is change in the quantity demanded. So mathematically let us elaborate the formula. ED equal to delta Q upon Q divided by delta P upon P. Whatever I am explaining, you will find everything written on the board very clearly. So let us flip that delta Q upon Q. When the division sign, we are flipping it to multiplication. So the numerator and denominator shifts, they flip. So delta Q upon Q into P upon delta P. Now let us take it in actual numbers for the better understanding. So I have given one table of numerical example. Let us assume original price is P, that is rupees 10. So at the price of rupees 10, the original quantity demanded is assumed as 5. Now let us say the price rises from 10 to rupees 15. That means there is a change of price of rupees 5. So when the price rises by 5 rupees, the quantity demanded falls by 2 kg. So it becomes from 5 kgs to the new quantity demanded is 3. I hope it will be easy for you to substitute in the formula. So the formula I have written again, ED equal to delta Q upon Q into P upon delta P. Let us put in the formula. Elasticity of demand equal to delta Q means change in demand. So that is 5 minus 3. So it becomes 2 upon Q, original quantity demanded, which was 5 kg. So 2 upon 5 into original price of the product 10 upon change in the price, which is 5. Delta P is 5. So I have substituted the values. I have put the values in the formula. It becomes 20 upon 25. So the final answer comes to 0.8. Now this 0.8 is of course less than 1. So in this case, elasticity of demand is less than 1. So by using this numerical example, we have found with the help of one example, since ED is less than 1, it is relatively inelastic demand. I hope you know all the types which we learned in the last lecture. If ED is greater than 1, it becomes relatively elastic demand. And if it is 1, ED equal to 1, then we call it as unitary elastic demand. You must be remembering the types. So this was the first method of measuring price elasticity of demand. I repeat in short, first method, ratio or percentage method, the very fundamental basic method. It is also known as arithmetic method. We use the simple formula, common formula, ED equal to percentage change in quantity demanded upon percentage change in price. That's it, very simple method. Now move on to second method, the other method. Second is total expenditure or outlay method. The word expenditure means outlay. So total outlay method also it is called. This method was developed by again Professor Marshall. In this method, see what we do here is we compare the outlay, the money spent by the consumer, or the outlay or the consumer expenditure of the consumer. So in this method, total amount of expenditure before and after the price change is compared. So what are the changes observed in the expenditure that is compared? Whether the expenditure has risen or whether the expenditure has fallen. That amount is compared here in this method. So I have written the formula in the green box with the red pen. Total expenditure is equal to price into quantity demanded. So how do we find what is our total spending or expenditure? Simple. Whatever is the price per unit into whatever number of units we buy. So by multiplying that, we arrive at the total expenditure. Now there are three types in this total expenditure method. We arrive at three types. First, three propositions. First one, relatively elastic demand. So if ED is greater than 1, if the answer comes greater than 1, it is relatively elastic demand. Meaning, when with a given change in the price of a commodity, whenever there is a change in the price of a commodity and it leads to increase in the total outlay. The total outlay increases. That means it is relatively elastic demand. So in this case, ED is greater than 1. I repeat the meaning. When with a given change in the price of a commodity, total outlay increases, it is relatively elastic demand. That's it. Now second subtype, relatively inelastic demand, in which case ED is less than 1. Here, same meaning will be there, only instead of increase, total outlay will decrease here. So the meaning, when with a given change in the price of a commodity, total outlay decreases, it is called relatively inelastic demand. So in this case, ED is less than 1. In the earlier case, total outlay increases, so relatively elastic because there is increase, ED greater than 1. In the second case, total outlay decreases, ED less than 1, so relatively inelastic demand. And now moving to the third point, that is unitary elastic demand. In case of unitary elastic demand, ED is equal to 1. When with a rise or fall in price, the total outlay remains constant, it is the case of unitary elastic demand. Now let us clarify this total expenditure or outlay method with the help of a table for better understanding. Look at the table on the board. Price P, demand Q, total outlay P into Q. Then last column is EOD, elasticity of demand. The first case I have taken case A, initial price 5, price fall to 4, demand 10, 20, total quantity, total outlay, which is the multiplication of P into Q, 50, 80. So there is a rise in the total outlay increases. So it is first case, ED greater than 1, relatively elastic demand. In the second example, that is B, again I have kept same price 5, 4, demand 10, 12. There is a rise in demand but very little rise in demand. So that's why the total outlay becomes 10 into 550. In other case 12 for the 48. So ED is less than 1 because it is a case of relatively inelastic demand. When the total outlay decreases, then ED is less than 1. It is the case of relatively inelastic demand. And now in the example C, that is last example, price 4 which decreases to 3, the demand increases from 15 to 20. So the total outlay ultimately remains constant because earlier it was 15 into 4, 60. In next case it is 20 into 3, that is 60. Since the total outlay remains constant, that is same, it is unit 1. So ED equal to 1, which is the case of unitary elastic demand. So that's it. These were the three propositions of this total outlay or expenditure method. So in today's lecture, up till now, we have learned two methods of measuring price elasticity of demand. First one was ratio or percentage method, also known as arithmetic method, and the other one was total expenditure outlay method, under which we had learned three propositions, that is relatively elastic demand, relatively inelastic demand, and unitary elastic demand. So with this, these two methods are over. One more method, point or geometric method, is there, which is in great detail. So I am going to cover it in a separate lecture, which will be the next lecture. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and do like and subscribe to my channel, and do share this lecture if you feel like. Thanks for watching.